Welcome to Behind the Crown Podcast with your hosts, Brian Hudson and Josh Griffin. Sit back and enjoy these great stories and memories of the Kingsmen Quartet.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Behind the Crown Podcast with your hosts, Josh Griffin and Brian Hudson. Brian, how you doing today, sir?
Josh, I'm doing great. I love that red shirt, brother.
Thank you, sir. Go Dogs, Georgia Bulldogs. That time of the year.
Yeah.
Sorry to all the Alabama Kingsmen fans. I apologize.
Yeah.
I had to get that. At this time, we're going to... No, I'm just kidding. We're going to continue on.
Well, thank you for everybody for joining us on the Behind the Crown Podcast. This podcast is dedicated to the message, the men, and the music of the mighty Kingsmen Quartet, in case you're joining us. And before we get to our special guest, we had a great episode with him last week.
Yes.
Josh, do we have a piece of useless information for this week? I've been getting emails and cards. I've been getting Facebook messages, Pony Express riders coming by. I want to know what the new piece of information, useless information, is for this week.
All right, here we go. You spray 2.5 drops of saliva per word. An average talker sprays about 300 microscopic saliva droplets per minute.
Oh, now say that first part again. I want to hear that.
Yeah. You spray 2.5 drops of saliva per word.
Wow.
Per word spoken.
Well, how about Sylvester the cat? He did a whole lot more than that. Sylvester.
Yeah. Well, and they also said in here too. You remember the artist Busta Rhymes?
Yeah. Well, no.
They said he may have different statistics, but his may be out of off the charts.
Was he a rapper or something?
He
Is
was.
that what he was?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
How about that? It's speechless.
I've been around some gospel singers who do a lot of spitting.
That's yeah. Uh-huh.
You don't get George Amos Webster, who I travel with Heartland. Man, you get too close to him, bud. You better get ready because it's going in your eye. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be spitting on you.
Oh man, goodness! I got him shocked. How about that?
You do, man. You got us shocked. So
yeah.
How about that?
Well, Josh, who is we had? We'll go ahead and introduce our special guest for this episode too. We had a great visit with him, like I said a moment ago. A great visit with him last week. But how about the one and only Garry Sheppard? Shep, good to see you, man.
My only response to that is fluffy fuckatas.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, very well done. Yeah.
Well, Shep, thank you for coming back and joining us again on this week on the podcast.
You betcha.
I was thinking, we realize your time at home was very valuable, and we appreciate that you taking an evening and spending it with us and talking, reliving some of the days of the Kingsman days. And long before I was ever a member, man, I was a Kingsman fan, and you and your tenure of the Kingsman, I saw you as a tenor more than anybody. I mean, because I started, me and my brother first started going to concerts about 85.
Okay.
And that's when we were old enough to start driving. We could drive ourselves to concerts, And so from 85 until like 93, man, you were the tenor we saw. Every live record you ever did, we know the word, we know the songs word for word, we know everybody's intro, we know the order of songs, and so we made. And so now, years later, I passed the mantle down to young Josh here. He's the number one Kingsman fan. So I used to be the number one Kingsman fan, but now he is. So
it's just because like I say, being a lead miner and traveling all those miles to watch your favorite gospel groups, and to think that somebody got in their car and drove to see you it's amazing. It's just overwhelming.
I appreciate your years with Kingsman, and last week we had talked about you have so many signature songs when you were there with the group, and we talked a little bit about near the end of the last week's episode about "He's All I Need" and how that song came. But another one of your signature songs I considered is "The Judgment." Do you have any special stories behind the Judgment?
Tremendous song. When it was brought to us, Foxy made the off the wall comment, said, "We're going to have to give it to Shepherd. He's the only one who can remember all the words."
There is a lot of words. There's a lot of words in that song.
And then it violated Hamill never did anything in a minor key.
Okay.
He said it denoted fear.
Oh, wow.
So when that one first starts off,
Yeah.
and once again, his brilliance showed up, because the first time we ever staged it, naturally it was all the
Orchestration.
tracks and the orchestration and all that. And like I said, they just kind of sit there. Our diehard 3 chords and the Cloud Dust Kingsmen fans were thinking we're gone contemporary, and they almost start throwing the lawn chairs. But and then the next night, to show you how Hamill, he just said, "Anthony, you play the intro. Shep, you sing along with Anthony."
Yeah.
And then he had Greg kick in the chorus.
Right.
And it was an automatic. It was night and day. I mean, that changed the whole entire song.
Yeah.
So from that point on, it was Anthony played and I sang, and that was a marathon song. I mean, you had to pace yourself to get to the
that's true.
But that song was later signature song, one year. And then Stand Up that we rewrote, a real good feel good song. A song called Bought by the Blood that we wrote for him. Those were faves. But when you talk about songs that mean the most to you, it's still He's All I Need.
Yeah,
without a doubt. But the Judgment had its, to show you the numbers. I mean, I don't want to. We're never in it for the money, but but ministry costs to get places to places.
True.
When we debuted the Judgment in Springdale, Arkansas, back in the days of cassette tapes, we sold $7,000 of just that cassette tape.
Wow.
That night.
Wow.
Just that cassette.
Just that, and that wasn't counting anything else. That was just
right. We'd already done the 4 for $10 specials and ran the crowd, as we call it. So good night. A very good night. That got us. That got us a couple of gigs down the road, as they call it.
I was gonna say. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Wow. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Gary, I'll ask you this. What was your favorite thing about life on the road with the Kingsmen?
Well, believe it or not, I was thinking about that today. Your favorite part about it is what Greg said, is traveling with the guys.
Yeah.
But people don't realize, I'm going to say a statement. When I left the Kingsmen, I never felt like I could see what God wanted me in the future if I was constantly looking back over my shoulder.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you miss those days on the road with those guys, and people don't realize you were in a sort of kind of a cocoon. You were sheltered from what was going on in the real world.
True.
Unless you called mama at home, and then she would tell you all the things that's going on here. The water pipes are broke, the cars broke down, blah, blah, blah. And everything that you lived for was that 45 minutes to an hour to 2 hours on stage. And you cannot, after you leave, I don't care what you do in the secular world, as we got to work. You can never replace that. I mean, there's a feeling when you're connected to, when God is playing you.
Yeah.
You're the instrument, and God is playing you.
Yeah.
And you're connecting with people, and the feelings that there's nothing I've ever experienced that can replace that. And also the team. That was the best team I ever traveled with. I mean, the best team.
Yeah.
One for all for one. One lost, we all lost. One win, we all win.
Right.
Take up for you, die for you. I mean, it was just, that's the, Nick Bruno made the comment, best team I ever traveled with. So this day, this day, that's what I enjoyed about it. That's what I miss about it. The other stuff, but boy, what a team of guys,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Even during my 10 years there, we had the same kind of philosophy. We didn't care who was batting, as long as we hit a home run. We didn't care who was batting.
That's right. That's right.
We all pulled for one another.
I mean, you talk about nutty guys, travel 280 dates and then go to in December on a golf trip with each other on a bus. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that idiots or what?
Yeah, you'd think you'd want to get away from them guys.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, but no, we you can't explain it unless you've been a part of that.
Yeah.
What a team it was. That's
Yeah.
what you miss.
Yeah,
That's what
the brotherhood. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know, think of how fortunate, Brian, we've been to be able. There's just a few people
Absolutely.
walking this planet that's been able to do what we did.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't say that. I say that to the glory of God.
Yes.
Man, when you think about it, it's a unique job, and
It is.
we were fortunate enough, blessed enough that
Yes.
God allowed us to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yes, sir.
I agree with that. Well, I have a question that I've been thinking about asking for the last couple of weeks, but I've not asked. So you're going to be the first one that I'm going to ask this question.
Yeah.
Fans of the Kingsmen are very loyal. Okay.
Oh yeah.
They're very
Yeah.
loyal. But sometimes they can say some crazy or strange things to us. And so I'm going to ask, is it any Kingsman fan or anybody said something kind of crazy and off the wall to you that you just found fun? And I'll start off while you're thinking of one. Okay. So this is years ago, the Kingsmen are singing at the Greens homecoming. Okay. Out in Boone, North Carolina, the open field, it's outside. We're under a tent. And we're sitting, me and Ray Dean and Parker Jonathan are setting up the Kingsman product tables. We've got 2 8-foot tables with 2 tablecloths that clearly say Kingsman on both cloths. Okay. Lady walks up, she looks at that cloth, she says, Kinsman. She said, that's my name too, but I spelled a whole lot different than that. and she huffs and walks away. Yeah. And I wanted to say, that's because it's Kingsman, not Kinsman, lady.
Yeah. I'd have them walk up and say, what did you do with the little bitty fella? And I'd say, I ate him. Maybe they talk about her. But the funniest thing that happened is that when we had this point in time when we were wearing, we had a navy blue jacket and we had gray pants.
I remember that. I remember that.
And they had a little crest on them.
Yes. Like a little gold crest.
Yeah. And I believe it was at the Whiting Auditorium up in Michigan.
Okay.
Where I was standing out in the lobby looking into the building.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a lady walk up to me and say, can you tell me where these seats are? She thought I was an usher. So sure. And I just took her right down, had my little, took her right down, set her down. And then a couple more people asked me, and I took them down where their seats were and set them down. And then when they introduced us and I walked out there, I could see those people go, that's the usher.
They got the usher up there singing with them.
Yeah. That really happened. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That and me and Greg Fox, because we look so much alike.
Yeah.
I would put on Greg's glasses and go in the building. And for a year, I'm not lying to you, for a year, we fooled Jan Buckner. She thought I was Greg Fox. Yeah, she never knew we were 2 different people till she saw us together. And she comes running up to us saying, oh my goodness, I thought you were one person.
Oh, little Jan.
Oh, man.
I said, I felt like saying, Jan, you did that. It's one too many nights. You held your breath too long, huh?
You're crazy.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny.
Oh, man. That's
that
good.
Is so funny.
Yeah. People say some strange things. We had one fan that was, his name was Buford. And Buford was so strong, he could literally move a piano by himself.
Okay.
And he had this little old wife, his little wife, she was a little bitty old thing. And Buford was a big guy, stout guy.
Yeah.
And she talked just like this. She talked just like real high, like this right here.
Yeah.
And she said, Buford, go in there and move the piano for me. He'd say, okay. He'd go there. And she was the one that started calling Foxy Elmer instead of Elder.
Okay.
Yeah. So Eldridge's life was miserable for a year. I'd say, come on, Elmer, let's go sing.
Oh, man.
Ooh, that's good.
That's good, man.
That's priceless.
Yeah.
Oh, this is crazy, man. Oh.
Come on, Elmer.
Well, Gary, I'll ask you this: particular group or particular singers that inspired you down through the years, maybe even after you were with the Kingsmen as well,
Oh,
that just
listen,
kind of took you back to
I
one
was
era?
fortunate enough growing up there in Missouri. I listened to all kinds of music. I wasn't exactly, you know, hooked into the
Yeah.
gospel. I loved Karen Carpenter
Oh
growing
yeah,
up. I
yeah,
loved Anne Murray. Of course, I loved Elvis. Who didn't love Elvis?
yeah,
I listened to all kinds of. We're talking, goodness gracious, the Eagles, the
yeah.
Neil Sedaka, and most of the time being where my Barbara Streisand, being where my pitch was, the only people I could imitate was female singers.
Yeah, yeah.
But as far as musical background, I listened to everything but rap. I never could
Okay.
tolerate rap, but I was pretty much I loved listening to all of the. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you're going to ask who my favorite group would be. That may be a question later, but I would. I was very musically. I didn't. Whitney Houston, my
Yeah.
goodness,
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
singers that would sing like that. But then when I discovered the Blackwood Brothers, and
Yeah.
Pat Hoffmaster was my
Yes.
tenor I imitated. Bill Bays.
Yes.
Imitating Bill Bays would kill you though, because he was a powerhouse.
Oh
I hurt something trying to imitate him. But
yeah.
Wee Willie Wynn, all those singers inspired me. Listen to Jim Murray,
Yeah.
all those singers. Yeah, the greatest form of flattery is imitation, and
Yes.
Oh yeah.
that's what I did.
That's
Well,
right.
this question ain't on the program, but I'll ask you if you could. And Greg Fox said, a few weeks ago when we interviewed him, he talked about who his dad would just want to sit on the piano bench and listen to, like a quartet. So I'm going to ask
Yep.
you if
Yeah.
you could sit back and you could pick 4 singers,
Yeah.
so you could just sit back on the piano bench and just relax and listen to them sing. Maybe
It would
who
it would
would be your 4 singers?
it would surprise you.
Okay.
I would love to hear Elvis doing the lead in a group.
Yeah.
I would like to have Pat Hoffmaster on the tenor,
Oh, that'd be good.
Squire Parsons on the baritone,
Oh,
and Big Chief Weatherington on the bass.
that would
Yeah.
be awesome.
That because I never got to see those.
Yeah.
I never worked with Squire. Squire was leaving as I was coming in.
Right.
Pat Hoffmaster, like I said, was my favorite. And I never got to experience Big Chief. The
Yeah.
guys that, like I told earlier last week, that grew up with the Statesman days.
Yeah.
And my father-in-law at the time, that's who he imitated. And that's, it's widely known that's who Elvis imitated,
Yeah, he did. He did.
But yeah, I'd like to hear Elvis do what he really wanted to do, and that's
Yeah.
sing lead in the quartet. He was always I believe Elvis died a frustrated gospel singer. That's all he ever really wanted to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I've said many times, I think Elvis would have sang gospel, but he knew his fans wanted the rock and roll Elvis. That's what they
Oh
want.
yeah, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and Elvis grew up poor, and when he started making money,
Yeah.
there was not the money in the gospel field that there was in his world. So
Yeah.
Right.
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 That's
True.
right.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Well, since you mentioned that, we'll ask it too. If of all the Kingsmen members, if you could sing tenor and put 3 other singers around you, as far as Kingsmen members go, past, present,
Woo!
whatever. Put
Now you're
together
now
a
you're
Kingsman. I know you was with one of the best lineups back in the day.
now you're getting mean because whoever I say now, somebody will be mad.
Well, we'll just they'll
The
understand. But yeah,
one sitting there in the chair, I'd like to sing with.
okay.
That's
So have him on lead and you on tenor. Yeah.
Yeah, we had some great lineups.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness! When you talk about baritone singers in ours, of course, the first person pops into mind is Squire.
Yes.
Like to sing with him. Second is Tim Surratt.
Yeah. Oh
My
God.
goodness, he was wonderful
Could sing it.
and could sing just about anything.
Yeah.
And of course, bass. There's only one bass. That's the dean of the bass singers.
Yeah.
And then as far as my time with Arthur was marvelous. Good
Yeah.
gracious. And And the rest of the guys there again, it shocks people to think. When I got out of it, I didn't do a lot of listening. I listened to a lot of talk radio. I listened to a lot of. I didn't listen to a lot of gospel singing until just here recently. In the last, I probably listened more in the last 2 years than I ever did. There again, when I would go, there would be a part of me that would just, I just wanted to do it so bad I couldn't stay out.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of had to quit feeding that beast.
Yeah. Well, and it's probably because, and like you talked a little while ago about the camaraderie, that's what I miss when I go and see. I went and saw the Kingsmen a few months ago. They were close in town, and I went.
Yeah, I saw your pictures on the Facebook.
Yeah, it was great, and I go to a concert where there's a quartet or whatever, or a trio. I miss the camaraderie. I don't miss the days of being gone 235, 245 days of the year. I don't miss that, but I miss the camaraderie.
Yeah.
And I miss the vocal blend. I love singing with my wife, and we do a great job together.
Right.
But I miss the male quartet sound. I miss that.
I heard that. Yeah, you're a little more. You're a little more versatile.
Yeah.
In a quartet.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yep. When you were traveling with the Kingsmen for those years, you traveled with a lot of different guys, in the group, and several of those have passed away. We've lost several Kingsmen alumni down through the years, and I thought I'd give you a few names, and if you had something you want to share about those guys or a funny story, then you can be glad to do. And so I'll start with Garry Sheppard, Gary Dillard.
Beaver.
OB.
Yeah, Beavy, as we called him, invited me into his home, literally, him and Judy, when I first moved to Asheville. They literally put me up in their house. I don't think Beaver ever really got the recognition that Beaver deserved as far as a musician. Anthony was bar none the greatest showman that ever, as far as as far as just raw musician, Gary probably held the thing better together than Anthony did.
Yeah.
Anthony just had the great talent that when Hamill called on him to do something on the moment spontaneity, Anthony could pull it off.
Yeah.
But as far as the musician that kept it all solid, and especially in the studio, that was Gary Dillard. He was the genius behind that. I mean,
and could play so many instruments.
And could play so. I mean, that dude would be back there driving you absolutely nuts going down the highway, learn how to play a harmonica. And when he first started, it sounded like a duck dying. I mean, it was some bad stuff. Banjo playing, but he could pick it up. But he was brilliant. I mean, the guy was on the dean's list and made the president's list and all this stuff in college. Wow. But I guess, what he couldn't do was those times that Hamill would call on him. Hamill kept us and I know why, because when you rehearse things 1,000 times, something's lost. If you keep somebody not knowing what's coming, there is an anticipation with you. And also when you're hearing it for the first time, there's an excitement in you. Beeve had trouble on the spot trying to come up with something. He'd have to rehearse it a little bit,
Gotcha. Okay.
Anthony could just throw it together, in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But you get Anthony in a studio, he'd drive people nuts because he couldn't play the same thing twice.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But as far as his versatility, and I mean, enough said. He's the only one that an award's been named after, So that pretty much says that.
That's true. How about Big Ed Crawford?
What we said earlier about crawfish, as I called him, taught me how to play the basics of golf, which I'll never forget. But he also he was the best quartet man you could ever have. I mean, he would just bust himself to do whatever. Of course, bass guitar. When he first picked it up, he said he could play it, and he couldn't. But he wanted to be a Kingsman. I mean, and he was the ultimate quartet guy.
Yeah.
He'd drive 19 hours if that's what it took. I mean, he was just He was just the ultimate quartet guy. Even Foxy said that about him. Said he's the best quartet guy I've ever had, and he had a lot of them. So there you are.
That's
Wow.
right.
And the best pair of hands for a dude that big.
Yeah.
That dude was athletic. We played pickup basketball games. That dude had hands. I mean,
Wow.
he nothing got by Big Ed Crawford.
Wow.
He was an athlete for that
Yeah.
for the size he was. Yeah, he really was.
Wow.
Goodness.
You talked a little bit about Burger there just now. So
Anthony was amazing. What can you say? Every night he was different. I mean, it's like he was hearing him for the first time. That was the most amazing to stand up there and watch him and just go, okay. Every now and then he'd oink one, but it was what we call oink. He'd hit a note and it wouldn't be, and we'd stand over there and go oink oink, and let him have it. But that was really rare. And the best thing he would pull off is when we'd be at like the DeCoin State Fair.
Yeah.
And Hamill would say, "Where y'all from?" And people start yelling out their state. And he'd say, "Anthony, throw all those together." He'd name them about 10 of them, and then put "I'll Fly Away" in there to end it. And Berger just pull that off. I mean, every time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Goodness.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
He was a genius. He was a genius.
A genius.
Yeah.
Well, how about Big Jim?
Well,
You got a funny story about Hamill?
Yeah. One time we were in Memphis, Tennessee, and Hamill, like you were saying on your prior, he would tell me, get 2 of everything.
Yeah.
He'd send you to get food. You just bring me back 2 of everything. So it applied the same way with his medicines that he took. So we're in Memphis, and he's got a headache, and he says, "Shep, can you go get me some aspirin?" So I go get him. Brought him the aspirins, and he pours them out in his hand. I mean, we're talking 8 or 10 of those puppies.
Oh, mercy.
And throws them back. Well, that night he was walking around like Elvis. I mean, he was high stepping over microphone cords, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. He was funny that night. One time he was watching a film. I don't know if y'all know Harry and the Hendersons.
I know the Bigfoot movie.
Hamill watched that movie and laughed so hard that he lost his voice. Totally lost his voice. He could barely talk. So we get out there that night, and he introduces a song, and he has Surratt stand behind him and sing.
Wow.
And Surratt stands over his shoulder and sings, and Hamill mouths it. And we get out in the lobby, and people start coming up and saying, "Hamill, I never heard you better. That was the best I've ever heard you. That's the best thing I've ever heard you do."
Oh, man.
But he introduced. Greg told the story of how he buried us, and about his diet.
Yeah, right. That joke about
Yeah. But he also introduced us one night. He was on his, "We're going to keep wearing these military haircuts and singing these old time songs till Jesus comes, and we're going to dedicate this song to the boy down on the front row. Stand up." And the kid was in a wheelchair.
Oh no! Oh no!
Goodness.
Oh, so yeah, he could do some stuff. Lady, literally, we're outside in a Jubilee, and a lady has she has records, and the ambulance comes. She gets overheated, and the ambulance comes and gets her on the gurney and everything, and she's got the albums up on her chest. Live Naturally is one of the albums. I remember this.
Yeah.
And as they're wheeling her out the door, Hamill says, "Did she pay for those?" And Foxy says, "Go to the bus. Go to the bus. Go to the bus."
Oh, man.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of Fox, what kind of relationship do you have with Foxy? And if you have any funny stories or anything about Fox?
Well, yeah, it was you can't say enough about Eldridge Fox. I mean, you just really can't. He was, I don't know if anybody, especially when they started, Foxy told one story one time about how he had to sell his blood to make payroll.
Yeah.
I
heard that story.
And wow, how he dreamed of that, put that together, and was smart enough to hire Hamill, but also smart enough, he was a Quartet guy and wanted really never got. He was always kind of behind the scenes, never really got the recognition. He was great singer.
Yes.
I would sit in the front lounge that year that we had the bus that was breaking down when we got that silver Fox. We was the first one, that big silver thing, and first one to get one 45-foot long, and it was 2 buses that was actually welded together.
Yeah, Gray Ghost, yeah.
Yeah, the Gray Ghost, and we didn't have the schematics on it. So when things started going wrong, we couldn't get it. I mean, we just absolutely guessed at how to get it fixed.
Yeah.
So we went through a year there where we didn't make a full tour out. We would go out, leave on Thursday night, Wednesday night, midnight, and by Friday, we were having a bus sent to us.
Wow.
So Foxy was already paranoid. He'd sit up there in the front lounge right by me in the buddy seat, and we'd be going down the road, and I'd look over at Hamill, and I'd wink at him so that Hamill knew what was coming.
Yeah.
And I'd sit there, and I'd go, and I'd be sitting right by Eldridge, literally right by him. And he could hear that, but he didn't know where it was coming from.
Yeah.
And he'd be looking all around because he just knew the bus was falling apart. He just knew we was dropping a bearing or something. I'd be going, and finally he'd look over at me. and he'd say again, God is going to let me kill you. He is going. God is going.
Oh, that's great. Oh, goodness. Well, Gary, I'll ask you this. So let's tell the fans, what are you doing nowadays? I know a lot of people, especially on Facebook, they said, get Gary on here. We need to get Gary. I said, we'll keep working on it. They want to know how you're doing, what you're doing now.
Yeah, I worked for a company for a while called Anchor Coach, and I'm probably the only guy that got fired from Hip Hill's coach because I missed a co-drive, and they fired me. Bless their hearts. That was the hardest thing I think Joy and had to do. But I didn't like that job too well because you was starting at midnight 30 and driving all night, and I don't know how those guys do that. So I hooked on with a place called Anchor here in town, Anchor Coaches, and God moved me. It was amazing. He gave me a lady that was a tour director.
Okay.
And her name was Margaret Toby with Toby Tours. And Margaret was tough. Oh, she was tough. I think really, God wastes nothing. I think God gave me Hamill to prepare me for Margaret. She was tough as hell. But she and I had we just loved each other.
Yeah.
And traveled for about 5 years all over the United States. I mean, literally. And doing senior tours and stuff. And I got to see all the places that you and I didn't get to see. We'd see hotel rooms and somewhere to sing. I mean, I other than Alaska, I mean, I got to see all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was coming home. I was on a 13-day tour heading to Grand Canyon when COVID hit. And I had been kind of playing a little bit with this place in town called Blood Assurance, who's we're a blood bank and blood mobile.
Okay.
All that. And was kind of courting them for about a year and a half. COVID hit on the 19th. I called them on the 21st, went to work for them on the 23rd. Never missed a day's work. And I've been there 5 years. And after about 3 years, because I could pretty much diagnose what was wrong with the bus because of all those years of them breaking down.
Yeah.
They gave me a maintenance tech job. Now I don't do anything harder than a light bulb. I mean, if it's harder than a light bulb, I make phone calls and set up services and get the buses fixed and maintenanced. And then I got about 5 different buildings all the way from Tullahoma to Clarksville that I take care of and all that kind of stuff. And been doing that. I turned 67 in October. I plan on doing a little semi-retirement and working.
Okay.
And then, and to be honest with you, I've never said this live or anyplace else. I intend on trying to get out there in some manner. Somehow. I really feel like I've got a little bit left in the tank. I don't know how much, but I really believe I can still do it to a level that I'm not going to embarrass anybody, and mostly embarrass God. So I never wanted to be one of these guys that they walk up to you and say, Shep, maybe it's time to leave. So we've all kind of hung on because, like I told earlier, you miss those days and you kind of hang on too long if you're not careful. I didn't want to be that way.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, let me ask you. We talked a little bit about earlier about some of the live albums you guys did, and
Yeah.
and what I think is really cool is some of the songs you helped introduce to gospel music. The current Kingsmen are still doing. They're
I
still
know.
doing. They're still doing "Meet Me at the Table" and
Yeah.
"Go and Tell Somebody."
Yeah.
And now "Go and Tell Somebody." Let me ask you. That little thing you do in the second verse, where you kind of do the "run." Did you come up with that, or did
That
something?
that was a spontaneous move that night.
Okay.
You know, it was one of those deals where you know how it is, you're feeling kind of froggy,
Yeah.
and you step up there and do it, and it stuck. It was
Well,
like, yeah, that was
well,
my little,
we talked to Perrick a few weeks ago about Glory Road. He
yeah.
calls it his little yodel, and so I thought, I said when every Kingsman tenor since Garry Sheppard has done that, they try to do it like Garry Sheppard, and so I just think that's so cool. With something you come up with, and they're
Yeah.
still trying to recreate that.
Repeat it.
Yeah, repeat. Yeah, and so I always wondered that, and I thought, well, I
Yeah,
got him
that
on
was
here. I'm gonna ask you about that.
same
So
way with Squeaky. That was done that one time on the stand up album,
yeah,
and that stuck. I mean, he had never called me Squeaky till that night.
wow.
Never.
Okay.
I mean, oh, that old Squeaky come, and then from then on, I was Squeaky. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, and I heard Harold talking previously how he was, because you gave him the Huggy Bear,
Yeah,
and how people were writing his name in, as Huggy Bear, that they didn't know his real name.
yeah.
So probably although I was nominated 13 times, I never won first tenor. But I was nominated the very first year I was in it, and then
Yeah.
what really drove Hamill nuts is I was nominated a couple of years after I left him, and he was like,
I did. Okay.
yeah, and I heard him say one time, he ain't sang a song in 2 years, and he gets put in the first. What's wrong with everybody?
Oh man,
Well,
goodness.
and the current group's also doing "Just Stop By," "Wish You Were Here,"
Yeah.
and of course they're doing stand up. So
Yeah.
tell us, we kind of touched a little bit on that. How did you come to rewrite the
Yes.
lyrics to stand up?
Well, we heading down the road. It was like on a Wednesday night, and I got on the bus, and Hamill said, "I just heard a country song." God, he says it has to be, it has to be a gospel song. He said, "Shepherd, are you smart enough to rewrite that?" I said, "Probably not." he said, "No, seriously, you need to rewrite that." Well, we got pulled in that night, and then of course the next morning I got up, and that's when how I did that. I used to jog a little bit
Yeah.
and sing too, But anyway, I was jogging up the highway, jogging up this little path, and there again, that was another one. It just
came to you.
as fast as I could run my mile and a half to 2 miles and back. That was wrote.
Wow.
Yeah, in my head, and then I just sat over there and wrote it down on the piece of paper, and then I handed it to Hamill, and he said, "What's this?" I said, "That's the song you wanted. That's stand up." He said, he's reading it, got his glasses on,
Yeah.
and he says, "Oh, I ain't gonna take it the first time. I want you to change a couple of words, so I'll tell everybody I didn't take it on first take." I said, "Whatever you say, big man."
Yeah.
So yeah, great. I mean, that one was just literally you just had to change a word or two. It was
Yeah.
already basically written. 3 writers wrote it, and I'll never forget this name. Sonny Throckmorton was one of the co-writers.
Okay.
And when of course, I had to give up. Uh, that's why nobody knows. We had to forfeit. You remember when Go Jonah came out?
Yes. For Elvira.
Yeah, for Elvira, and right about the same time, they received quite a bit of threats from that.
Yeah.
So you had to forfeit the publishing rights, and the original writers got paid, and we had to basically, it was a number one song, but sold a lot of product. But
Yeah.
as far as getting paid, never, I never saw any royalties from that,
Wow. Did not know
or
that.
or a real good feel good song.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that one too. Same deal.
Follow up, same deal. Same writers, I believe. So
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, but there again, it helped the Kingsmen. What helped the Kingsmen helped me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the way I felt about it. So
Now, speaking about stand-up, did y'all get to talk to Mel McDaniel, who recorded it on the
No,
countryside or anything like that?
never got to talk to Mel. Of course,
Yeah.
there's a funny story on there when Roy Acuff introduces us as the Blackwood Brothers. And,
Yes. On the video, yeah.
yeah, had to go back and do it over.
Yeah.
And he apologized to the Blackwood Brothers.
Yeah. Well, he said the Black. Did he say the Statesman?
Yeah, I
And the
said the
Black-
Statesman first.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I said the Statesman first and Blackwood Brothers. They said Kingsmen. And Hamill yelled at him, Kingsman. He said, I'm sorry to the Blackwood Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's funny story. We would do that Memorial Day singing down here, and Roy would get out on the golf carts. He'd get out. He'd escape from them, get out on his golf cart, and be riding around the park. And we would hear the guys stand on the corner with a walkie-talkie saying, "He's over by the Wabash," because he's trying to run Roy down.
Oh, man.
Well, he was up in age then, so
Oh, yeah, and could still put that fiddle on his nose and walk right out there and kill it.
Wow.
Goodness.
Programmed to do it.
Wow.
He might not have remembered who he was, but he could kill it out there. So.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's right. Well, let me ask you this. I see I skipped over a question, Brian, and we'll ask you this. Was there a special moment while you was with the Kingsmen, when y'all was singing or what have you, that God just really moved, God just took over, and I guess y'all just kind of got out of the way and let the Lord have his way, or, something like that comes to your mind?
We had done we had just finished an 18-day tour, and they called us to do a little singing down. I wish I could. I know it was a Methodist. Oh no, maybe I'm getting But we were singing at this church for the morning service, and we all were kind of feeling yucky. I mean, it was we about sung out, and we were close to home, wanting to get home.
Yeah.
And we started the very, very first song, and I'm telling you, I can't remember what the first song was, but it was like the Holy Spirit was tangible. I mean, it was like you heard it, literally, the mighty rushing wind come in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just very first song, and I mean, it was. We basically just kind of stood up there and cried. We didn't know what to do next. I mean, it was one of those. We get out on the bus. We're standing out there in the hallway of the bus, and Hamill looks over at me and he says, Shep, he said, when God shows up, what's left?
Yeah.
He said, the best thing we could have done is give an altar call and let people do business with God. But he said, and you could tell Hamill had to restructure that entire, because we had to give him an hour. Not, that's what the pastor was expecting. That's
right.
That's what the people were expecting.
Yeah.
And as you know, there was a lot of times when we would sing and then open up the second half to request time, and we would be there. That's why people loved us to sing in church. My goodness, we'd be there 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
And it was free.
Yeah.
So that was one particular place that stuck out in mind. And then, believe it or not, the very first King's Gold.
Okay.
That was an accident. That was a godly. There's no accidents, but that was a God wink moment. We were literally running out of time.
Okay.
And the promoter said, "Guys, go out there." Well, they came first to us and said, "I need you to do the second half." And Hamill said, "We got 15 minutes." I think it was up in Michigan again, where they have the union, and the building had to be closed.
Okay.
And we walked out there and started just kind of, sit. And I'm telling you, what can ruin a good gospel singing is the Holy Spirit show up like he did right there. I mean, it ruined it. We were ruined. I mean, and the songs we started singing, I mean, yeah. And from that moment on, we had to do King's Gold.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a level of respect with those guys, almost like us. Almost like the camaraderie there was almost like the Kingsmen. There was a respect there. Brian, as you're singing with somebody and you're watching Brian and I could literally raise our eyebrows up and let the other one know You know,
Yeah.
do you want to go for it? You
Yeah.
know, and if you don't want to go for it, let's hold it down. You know what I'm talking about. We
Yeah.
didn't,
Yeah. You just know.
we didn't show each other up if the other guy was, you're not always on, except I never heard Brian have a bad day. I know that rascal, I never heard him. But yeah, we could look at each other and, know when we're going to, take it up or,
Right.
and so it was that kind of relationship. So yeah, but the very first one was it was a God moment. I mean, it was lapped over the banks and barely got out of there alive.
Got out of the banks.
Oh, that's exactly right. Yes, sir.
Good moments.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Shep. We talked a little bit about your songwriting, and you wrote several songs while you were there. Bought by the Blood, I always loved that song. It was a great song. And then after you left,
Yeah,
you did Friend of Mine that Tim Surratt
yeah,
sang.
yeah. A fellow by the name of I co-wrote that with a fellow by the name of Bruce Carroll.
Okay. Kind of a country gospel singer.
Yeah, country gospel singer. Took it. That was one of the sad. That was my first really. I don't mean how this is going to sound, but I wrote everything but "My life safety net, you're
Yes.
always there." Bruce wrote that line and got credit for half of the song.
I've got you.
So you're like, well, that ain't fair. But who said life's fair? But yeah, that was a good experience down here. I came down here and was writing for Brian. I mean, for oh, come on, Gary. It'll come to me.
It'll come to you
2 days from now.
Yeah.
But Niles Borat.
Yes, Niles. Yeah.
Who wrote many, and he had at the time had a publishing company, and I came down and wrote a lot of songs with co-wrote there. And the best thing about there is you could right after you wrote it, you could go into a side studio and cut it.
Wow.
Cut you a quality demo. So, and some of those are still, like I say, they're still hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recently wrote one called "Put Your Foot in the Water" that I'd love for a group to do. But yeah, good song.
Okay. Well, one song that you wrote that really ministered to me was several years after you had left. I believe you co-wrote "I've Never Trusted You More." Is that right?
Yeah, co-wrote it with Daryl Williams.
That was that. The Kingsmen cut that. We cut that, and
now there you're talking about a moment too that I forgot all about. I took that song up to the School of Music, Blackwood Brothers School of Music. It's been a little bit of a while ago. Charles Novell was still alive.
Okay.
And I took that song up there and listen. I started singing that song, and my goodness, the whole entire school, including me, was in the altar.
Wow.
I mean, we were like that. It was just one of those. Yeah. You can't stir that up. It has to be God sent.
Yes.
And that was one of them. Yeah, that song. I never really good song.
Great song. Well, it came to the Kingsmen in 2000.
Yeah.
And my dad had passed away the September before that, 99. And I remember I've told this story, but we were in the back lounge. Nick Bruno was on the bus. He was going to produce it. And we had all the songs picked, had a good song for me. And I looked at the lyrics and I said, I've got to sing this. You have to let me have it. And that song ministered to me more than anything because I needed to trust God. Yeah, with the loss of my dad, and that really ministered me.
I had a pastor in Asheville, North Carolina, say one time, we might be anointed to sing it, but we're not anointed to live it.
Wow.
And that has stuck with me since 1980, probably 86 when he said it, because people don't realize we might be anointed to live it. God has given us that talent, and the gifts and the callings of God are without repentance.
Yes.
But living it is a different matter altogether.
True.
Living it is totally different than your talent.
True.
And if you confuse it, you're going to be messed up. And for a while, I have to confess to you, I went through some personal things that we won't get into, but believing and knowing that God is good is two totally different things. We can quote all the cliches, but it's taken me a while to really know God is good. Life stinks sometimes.
Yeah.
And is he still good when he deals you when you might get a bad hand? Is God still good? And yes, he is.
Yeah.
He most certainly is. And I've learned that not singing with the Kingsmen. I had to learn that after.
Yeah. Real life stuff. Real life
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
Wow, that's good.
That's exactly right. Since you're talking about you writing your songs, do you have any advice for any aspiring songwriters, Garry? Because you wrote some great songs, so surely
I've never been one of these guys. I admired the Jeff Gibsons and the Ronnie Hensons and people like that who can take a time out of the day.
Yeah.
I hear writers that talk about that, take a certain time of the day. Mine has always come through inspiration, not perspiration. I mean, I've always been, it might be a hook or something that comes to me, that I'll hear a pastor say or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guys like Dave Clark, who gave a seminar at the School of Music that I was there this year, how they can take them. How their writing becomes, and the difference. Everybody says, "Well, what's the difference between Dave Clark's writing and your writing?" And I'll say, "Well, my writing paid for a couch. Dave bought a house and a studio with his writing." So that's the big difference. It's the same thing I tell singers. I said, I can guarantee you success, and they'll look at me like, "Hey." I'll say, sing as much as you can, as often as you can, in front of many people as you can.
Yeah.
And you'll have success. Now, it might not be where you think, but that's success.
True.
Same way with writing. You just gotta figure out what kind of writer you are.
Yeah.
And like I say, I'm easily bored. And so, me sitting in a room with somebody trying to get on the same page sometimes is just like sticking an ice pick in my ear, So like I say, I can go for months and never write. And then all of a sudden there'll come so fast that I just, please, Lord, turn the spigot off, I'll be writing one while listening, another one will be in my head,
Right.
which really drives me nuts. So, but you go with it. I go with it when it hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't tell you the amount of times that I'll get one in the night and I'll say, well, I'll get to it in the morning and it's gone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He gave that to somebody else.
Yeah.
Well,
the cool thing about having that little thing on your phone, voice memo.
I absolutely do that.
I've been riding down the road and driving and trying to sing the lyrics, or I'll if I got a tune, I'll be humming the tune, and then
I wrote a song called "There He Is" and nearly killed everybody in Perfect Heart because I wrote it.
I remember that song. That's a great song.
I wrote that song going down the road driving the bus.
Oh,
and I knew I had to. Yeah, it was about 3 a.m. and I had Mike Presnell running from the back saying, "What in the world are you doing, son?" Because I hit rumble strips, I hit the middle of the road, I hit everything. Yeah, and then, you know how it is, man. You could hit one rumble strip and the whole bus is awake.
Oh, they're up. Yeah, they're up.
So I wrote that one. My grandma had just passed, and I'd seen her in December, knowing that she was going to go.
Yeah.
And then when I got word that she'd passed, I mean, that picture walking into the bedroom in the hall of him in the Garden of Gethsemane, that was a real life experience. I mean, that was there he is, the one who's altogether lovely. Yeah.
Wow. Great song too. Great song.
Well, thank you.
Shep, you not only you're a tenor singing machine, man, you're a songwriting machine. Let me tell you.
I wish I had 1,000 just like you, buddy. Thank you.
well, Josh, how close were we on time, Josh?
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll end it up Garry, if you got another good road story you'd like to share.
You got a good road story.
Hey, if you got one on Ray Dean, you can share. Like a tribute to Ray Dean. Oh, cuz, yeah.
The best thing about Ray Dean is we would literally get over there. We would be standing on stage. Now, Ray knew. I don't know how he knew, but he knew when we were talking about him. I mean, he could figure it out there. That and like Peric said, and all of us, you could make him sick. I mean, you could make him sick. You could get on the bus on Wednesday and say something like, "I've got sickle cell," and by Saturday, Ray would have it. But anyway, we would be standing on stage, and Hamill would be looking out across there. There'd be a moment there, and Hamill would be looking out across there at him, and he'd talk out of the corner of his mouth to me, and he'd say, "I wonder what he hears. Have you ever thought about what goes on in his head?" And it wouldn't be 2 seconds. And Hamill would say, "I watch him. He's going to come over here because he thinks we're talking about him." And here we come, Ray. Here we come, Ray. Walking across the
What are you doing, cuz?
Yeah. What are you doing, guy? You got to talk about me, ain't you?
Oh, that's good.
That's
That's good stuff.
This popped in my head. This, for some reason, I'll tell you the night I was having a lot of trouble, as you talked about earlier, when
Yeah.
you replaced singers,
Yeah.
the Jim Hamills when I was having a lot of trouble replacing Ernie and Perrick, and you never replace them.
Right. True.
Greg said something about Ernie was the only one who could come after Johnny, and I was the only one who could come after Ernie. And when I look back on it, that's true because how God prepared my heart. I mean, He prepared my heart for that. I had a pure heart. I mean, it was a pure heart. I'm sitting in Atlanta, we're at a baseball game, and we're about to sing at the Joyful Noise, which was not one of our favorite places because it was hard to sing at. Ceilings were low, hard to sing at. So
not a very good neighborhood either.
Not a very good neighborhood. So I knew I was going to have 285 pounds on my back that night. He was gonna get the best out of you. And I'm sitting there in that stadium, and I'm saying, God, I can't do this. I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
There are so many great singers in this biz, and I'm just, I don't think I can do this. And I'm telling you what, it was like, it was a tangible voice. He said, "Look out across here." I said, "What?" He said, "Look out across. How many people do you think are in this stadium?" I said, "Well, I don't know, 50, 60,000. He said, "And I picked you."
Wow.
Mhm.
I picked you. I could have had anybody in this stadium.
Yeah.
But I picked you tonight. Go sing.
Wow.
And from that point on, I never had much trouble after that. I mean, there would be nights. There's a song on the Silver Anniversary album that I wish the Kingsmen would go back and recut. Harold Reed said some nice things about me, and I returned the favor. I mean, what he said about doing it this time and it being fun, and you can tell he's having a blast. And I'm thankful for that for him. He's finding him.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about.
Right.
But I wish somebody would go back and release "My Heart's Already Home."
Great song.
Because that is just a song that no one has reached back and done. And that is a song. And
great song.
And we never staged it because at that time I was having so much inconsistency in that song. I mean, it took forever to do it in the studio. When I listen back, as I have been with old cuts, and listen to the timbre in my voice,
right?
That point that I don't think I can reproduce now because I was young and just But I would have trouble on stage with placement, and we never got to stage it. And that's a song that I think has been lost because of that, and that's really a shame. I wish they could go back and do that one.
Wow, that is a great song. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that song very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yes. Great song.
Yep. I know that's kind of off subject, but there we go.
That's all right.
And Bart, Y'all, this has been another great episode of Behind the Crown Podcast, Part 2 with Garry Sheppard. Brian, it's been another great episode, man. I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know. And
same here.
Gary, we appreciate you, man.
I thought I was a big Kingsman fan. I found some stuff I didn't know. So.
That's right. I got some more funny ones, boys. I got plenty in this old head. So if you want to.
Well, and plus we got some additional useless information tonight.
Yeah.
So
are you gonna be up at the 70th singing the old Ship of Zion thing?
I believe so. Yeah, so. Yeah.
They called me. Greg said I called him today.
Yeah.
He said he's gonna do Eldridge's part if he can keep from crying through it. So
yeah.
I've been going around going, As I step trying to tune up for it.
Well,
Yeah.
I tell you what, gentlemen, for this Kingsman fan here, do a great job on it, but get as much pictures, videos you
We
can.
will.
You know,
We'll
yeah,
take
make
lots of
memories.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
lots of
I might not show up as Billy Goat Gruff.
Billy Goat Shepherd.
I might whack it off. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it or not. So
Yeah.
looking at this video, yeah, I might do it. I look like Charlton Heston. The Red Sea's going to part here in a few minutes.
Well, Shep, thanks for joining us tonight on the podcast, and man,
You're welcome.
We'll schedule you again back down the road sometime. We'll do some more stories and talk more about songwriting and singing and everything.
I have a quote that I tell everybody.
Yeah.
The only thing worse to have never done it is to be forgotten.
That's true.
And I thank you guys that you didn't forget us. So
absolutely. Never.
Thank you so much.
You're one of my heroes, Shep. I appreciate you, bro.
Well, same here. Thank you.
Well, thank you for talking to this South Georgia Kingsman fan. I never thought I got to talk to Garry Sheppard and some of these other great guys, but it's been a blast, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you
really
thank you for remembering us and I deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
And hopefully in the future we'll get you and some of the other guys on here do on the Kingsman Facebook page, do our Behind the Crown podcast Facebook Live, where everybody can ask questions, stuff like that, and just let y'all talk back, to each other.
That would be nice.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah. I'll tell you how my wife's prettier than your wife.
Oh, everybody, we appreciate y'all joining us on this episode of Behind the Crown podcast. Join with us again as we stroll on the glory road, going down, reliving some Kingsman history. Thank you for that again there, Garry. Thank y'all so much. God bless y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Behind the Crown podcast with your hosts, Brian Hudson and Josh Griffin. If you would, please like, rate, and share this episode. Join us again for another episode of the Behind the Crown podcast.